Let's all stand for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge of
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have financials first assigned. Our claims, the water and the town. We look at that one on the inside.
That was long, it's 3 pages. And a lot of money. Yeah, $53,000. It's up to
The water bill.
our water.
Our water bill brought less than what it was. Since they did those repairs to the library lift station. And then I know there was 2 adjustments that Ray Strode sent and, for that I'll bring to next month's meeting.
Minutes?
Yeah. Is that just for the profit amendment? Yeah, I read those. When they did get all the paving done in town, they did a good job.
Got all the flags in. Once again, put them
They
away.
got all the flags.
Yep.
When are we gonna take them down?
10.
Yeah, when you take them down?
It's gonna, well,
Undecided.
it's undecided. It depends on the weather and after Jeremy gets back, so.
Okay.
But we're gonna leave them up for a couple
We're gonna need 9 up too. so.
Yeah. First thing is Josh Kepley property, which is the Killing Avenue purchase. I know Coy was trying to get a hold of Josh to get that property, the deed completed.
We've already given them the check, so
Well, I still have the check in the safe,
I've
so.
already written the check.
Yes, you've already read the check. I saw it on there, and we're waiting for Josh to go to Coy's and sign it, or else for Coy to send it to me so that we can get it signed. So we will table that until we find out, get hold of Josh Kepley again and get that paperwork signed so we can start getting that lot and that sinkhole cleared. cleared up. That's been a long time coming. Next was the Boys and Girls Club annexation hearing is set for July 13th at 8 p.m. here at the community center. If you all drove past it, we've seen a lot of progress on it. So hopefully we can get the hearing done on the 13th and then do final signing on everything at our August meeting. And then we'll be done with that. I know that the guys have worked hard on getting the water, sewer, and the hydrant all set up and getting the meter on the hydrant so that they can lay the bricks and stuff. So that is going well. And it's gonna be beautiful. And HWC,
Yep. I'm right here.
there you go.
So community crossings, application open September. I'll have everything ready for you this next meeting in August.
And that's for our streets and roads.
Yeah.
It's a grant for them.
As far as, the Kepley property and the Keeling Avenue, I've sent an email to board members about a plan of attack on that. I don't know if you want to wait until the property's actually in your hands
Right.
or, and then you can, so.
Yeah, I think we need to sit down. We'll set a meeting probably on the 17th or 18th and, with the maintenance and our water and sewer guy and try to get a plan of attack, see the cost of everything, which I know you pretty
Yeah.
well find out,
Yeah.
and then see what we're gonna do with that.
Okay.
Which hopefully, I know we called for rain the next 3 days, but hopefully let's say a little prayer, we need the rain for the farmers, but let's hope we don't get a whole lot of rain. But yeah, I'll, give it back to and see about our funding for all that. Maybe he can come to our meeting on the 17th or 18th. And we'll discuss all the costs for that and the plans for trying to do improvement on that property for the drainage in that area, which is a big problem.
That's all.
And then you may, if you don't care to share that with Chelsea also.
Is that the one that we've gotten an invoice for previously? Is it like 50-something thousand or is that something?
I don't think so. I did not know that.
No, this is where it flooded and a lot of people couldn't get out of their houses
Right.
during some of the big rain events. So we're wanting to get that sinkhole cleaned out.
Yeah, it was
for the
like the
drainage.
sinkhole one that I'm thinking of, but maybe there's a different one. You'll have to do some kind of like inspection to see what was in it or something. I don't know.
They
Yeah.
did do, yeah, we did have a
They did do
geotechnical
that.
investigation done
Okay.
of it
Gotcha.
to decide if it could be improved to accept drainage.
Okay.
And basically they said
Those,
yes.
if you're gonna have a meeting, and it could be.
Yeah, anything can send me updates on that, that would help.
That you're gonna have a meeting,
Or is that whatever?
unless it's an executive session, and I don't know if we do that.
Well, we do have an executive session coming up. I'll check with Coy and see if he can be there. Let me tell you when the executive session for this month is. It is on the 21st at 2 p.m. So then we can get together and maybe discuss the cost of the improvement to that property and what we plan on doing to that property.
From her standpoint, you're wondering if there could be some funding opportunities
Yes.
to help.
That's what I'm
Okay.
hoping that
Yeah, I
that is
did.
part of the planning grant.
Okay. I did lay out also in the email that if you want to wait, there could be an opportunity to do pipe replacement with community crossings when the road is able to be done.
That is really the best way to,
But,
To
Right.
attack it with the community crossings.
like,
But
if you're
the
already
road
gonna
rating-
be doing the.
yeah, the road rating right now isn't bad enough to do the road. So you gotta do the road and then anything attached with the road, but you can't say, the pipe, when you want to replace the pipe. And whatever rating the road is, what it is.
So that would be just for the road, not the pipe underneath the road.
If you want to wait until the rating of the road lowers to where we can actually do a mill and fill on the road, we could replace the pipe at the same time and get 80-20 funding to do that. But the rating of the road would have to drop now between the next September would be the next opportunity to get that.
Yeah, I'm not.
Because
gonna
the road's in good
wait
shape,
that
it's like
long.
a sub, so.
I was about to ask.
That area's been flooded multiple times.
Yeah.
In the last few years, and we will try to do it, try to add it on to the Oprah grant in some way, shape, form, or fashion. If you can get that paperwork to her, and we can see if we can incorporate any of it in, because we'll be applying for that in the next week.
Okay.
Anything else?
Nope, unless you got questions for me.
No, I think we're good. Let me go back to our.
Let's try to put it at the road and see what happens.
On here was Mainstream on here and American Legal Publishing. Mainstream pretty much is done here in town. I know that I actually drove around and saw where they had left some stuff on the side of the road. And I've reached out to their management and their, some of the areas that they went through, they were supposed to come back and do improvements to the roads, and they have not. So if there is an area that Mainstream has gone through and put in their boxes and wires and all their stuff, and they haven't come back and done the improvement that they need in your area, please reach out. My email's on the town website, it's on Facebook, my phone number is everywhere. You can come by town hall and reach out that way. People, I'm pretty accessible to people, so just reach out, let me know. I'll reach out to them and try to get them back in your area. And have them update me when it's completed. The other thing was American Legal. I think Coy had reached out. I talked to him the other day. He had looked everything over. We're hoping to get it to where you can go on American Legal, see all the minutes, see all the ordinances, see everything. I think everything is updated through January or February.
January,
And we're
we
gonna
only
try
got
to,
8 this year, so.
yeah, so we're gonna try to get them everything else, so it'll be up to date to where you can pull up last month. Boy, just finishing up on a couple of things, and then hopefully as soon as that's released, I'll put it on Facebook, I'll put it on the town website, all town ordinances and minutes are on these, is on this website. It's really easy. You can go and put in a town, put in what you're looking for, search it, and it'll pull it right up. It's really easy to use. I've done it for some of the other towns around to see how easy it was to use myself. That's coming. And the town marshal's not here. The attorney's not here. So I will make a motion to adjourn the town board meeting.
No, the
Can I have a
water,
second?
finish the water,
Huh?
we start with the water,
No, on the.
we started with the
We
town,
started with the town this time.
Okay.
Because there's a public hearing in the water that's scheduled for 7:00. Because it was published that way. So we'll conclude the town meeting. Do you have a motion? You'll make that motion, I'll second it to conclude the town meetings. I'll adjourn it at Fox Run at 6:33 PM. And we will go ahead and open our utility board meeting at 6:33 PM. In attendance are same people, myself, Deborah Atkins, President, Tommy Wilson, board member, and Jack Pavilion. Sammy's not here, and our attorney isn't present. First, thing that is on here is the Greenville Connection Project. I talked to Coy, and he had talked to Heather, who's drawn up the paperwork. It's a connection for future use by Greenville in case of emergencies or low water. She's working on getting that drawn up. Told me we'll have that for August meeting, and they will be paying for setting up that connection. Since it will be for their use, there'll be a rate set for when they use it. It'll be metered, and it's just to help our neighboring community out in times that they need the extra water, or that their tank gets low, or that they have a subdivision that is close to town that's on their water that has water issues sometimes with water pressure. And our tank, Sinville tank in that area, will help them out. So that's what that is about. Just want everybody to know what we're working on. And next is Palmar water updates. I have Brian, who has all kind of updates for you. You'll come on up here.
All right, let's start with the big one first. The main break this weekend, everybody was affected by it. Some of the updates that we got. Once we started Saturday morning, 11 o'clock, Ramsey Water had the first main break that morning. Affected us, put us in boil water. 11 a.m. that morning, we had a break, unrelated from either one. Ours was on the Palmar side, theirs was on the Whiskey Run side. So we started, me and Jason started 11 a.m. that morning. We went to 11 o'clock that night. We never could get the leak found. We valved off, we got some people back in water, mainly the North Road, people down on that end of the water system. As we worked our way back, we kind of isolated down to 150. On Sunday, we started getting that morning at 8:30. At 3:30, we found the leak. We got some of the neighbors had got a hold of us that we didn't receive the phone calls from. So that's another thing we'll talk about here in a minute. We found it. We have a new main now that we did not know we had in our system. So on the north side of 150, coming off McCracken Road, there's a 4-inch main that's running down. I believe it's hooked into McCracken, and it's running the north side of 150 down a couple miles down, and there's a small, the drive, I can't remember.
May.
What is it?
Was it May?
No, it starts with an S. On the north side of 150, it's a very small little subdivision. But that's where we ended up finding the main at, and it was in the woods, and it had been running down. And one of the local people, they found it. That's when we got it fixed, got everybody back in water. One thing I want to say about the weekend deal there, all the Palmar workers, extremely great job working on all the way to the 4th of July. We were still working on the fireworks going off. Started back in Sunday morning. I had Jeremy with that day, Anthony come in that night. Anthony worked with me all day Sunday. The Temple and Temple crew, we had 2 different crews there on Saturday and Sunday working. I advised Deborah that I'd like to see the employees of Town of Palmar pay double time for their weekend work, because getting people coming in on a holiday weekend is almost impossible. And these guys did it all weekend long. And Jeremy, who was in Wyoming on vacation, was on the phone with us all day Saturday and Sunday. His hours were calculated too. I also told Temple and Temple, because if them guys don't show up and do the work, nobody would have work. And I told them I want them paid for that too, and it will reflect on the bill. So, and we agreed with that this morning. After that, we'll take care of
Monday morning, our phone tree system, where if any of the residents call, my name and Jeremy's name is now who you will go straight to us. So we took care of one of our big problems of getting communication. So hopefully now going forward in the future, we have a main break, because we was asking the public to help us out all weekend. Had a lot of great people out looking, and we did have someone that actually found the leak for us. So we're really, really happy that we got it. I hated it happen, I hate everybody's out of water, but I'm just glad we got it fixed, and like I said, and finally, the new main that was not on our mapping system. Looking at the pipe, probably put it in the 70s, so I don't know that we have anything, and anyone that would know anything about it, probably in the cemetery did right now. So that kind of lets us know where we're at. But we was real happy about that, and as far as getting fixed and getting everything taken care of. One of the things since I've started here in December, and just working out every utility and coming, seeing Palmar and seeing some of the problems that we're trying to fix along the way, is our billing software here that I gave the paper to the board. And this is something that the board and I will discuss. And I would like to reach out to other billing software about, we have issues in the amount of time it takes us to build, reread meters, shut offs, and time we get done with all this, it's time to start reading meters again. The amount of time it takes where I work at is about 2 days, and we're completely done. We know what, and we handle stuff in-house. It's something that I want to discuss with the Palmar board and with Rachel and Jan, and I just want to bring this up to them and let them know about that there. I think this is something that will really help us out. We have some metering issues also, while we have Badger here tonight. I've seen Metro in the last meeting, last 2 meetings, so this is something that we've got an open system that's completely obsolete. If we're ever going to get back up, caught up to where we can actually do the things we need to do, get the bills, get the meters read, and get everything out, I think we need to do it all in-house, and we need to find somebody to go with to help us get through this. Now, there's a lot of things that we're going to have to do here, and it's going to take time to piece this all together, but I think this is the first step we need to take. And this is just my opinion, this ain't nobody else's, this is just me looking in from the outside utility to see what would help Palmar get basically up to 2026, not 2010, and with our billing and reads and everything like that.
How's Jeremy doing with his training?
Doing great. Everything right now is completed. I think in the next 6 months, we'll probably finalize the initial training he's doing now and be ready to start looking at the testing. So starting in January, we'll start reviewing the test, and I'm hoping that anytime in January, we'll start getting certified. We'll be real happy. Jeremy does a good job. He's got a 10 pile of employees, and like I said, I can't say nothing about what the employees done over this weekend, because no one wants to be here on 4th of July, out in the middle of the night, trying to find a leak there, and it is very frustrating trying to find where it was at. But we learned a lot of information, we got map updates to send to our engineering friends, and the more we do this, the more the systems will get better, and the more chances we have to find leaks a lot faster. I just hope everybody in the public will just be, gracious with us, just give us a chance to, we're trying to do our best to figure out stuff, and, it just takes time, but we're gonna get it.
One phone call I made with you all, they were walking through cornfields 7 feet tall. They were soybeans through the woods.
Yeah.
Hot this weekend, and they were out trying to find that leak. I know everybody got aggravated, but that no more aggravated than they were trying to find it on lines that weren't mapped.
Yeah.
So, I want to thank everybody for their patience. And then, as he was speaking, we have some other guys here, that we have put some of their meters in to try, they also, will help us track leaks and help us read meters. I said previously we had 2 different meters we were trialing. where you can go online and actually see your own water usage and see when it increases. And do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name's Matt Kingery. I'm the sales manager for Midwest Meter. This evening I brought Roland Vickery with me. He is the account manager for you guys. And I also have Nick Clark, who oversees all of our technical support and implementation. Nick, I need a little bit of help with TV. Sleep. It did go to sleep on me. Maybe if I hit the power.
There.
Scroll over to the right and then down to get to that HDMI.
Perfect. So I guess, let me explain a little bit about our company and Badger Meter real quick, and then let's kind of look at where we're at with the town and where we move forward with that. So, Midwest Meter, we were founded in 1963. We've been a Badger distributor for over 40 years. We cover 5 states: Indiana, Illinois, Wisconsin, Missouri, and Kansas. We have full branches in 4 of those states. We've also, an important piece is we keep 4 full-time technical support folks on staff. So when we have an issue that we've kind of been brought up today a little bit, is we have the option of keeping that in-house with our 4 people. But if for some reason you can't get a hold of them, you also have Badger Meter. So you have their entire technical support team at your fingertips as well. Now, I do want to say that is nothing new. You have had access to that this entire time. So Badger Meter, been in business for 121 years out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We have 9 global manufacturing sites and 5 global R&D sites. As it stands today, we hold somewhere between 25 and 30% of the water meter market and 24 to 28% of the automation. So when we talk about the water meters, I want to kind of go through this, and we always say choice matters. So there's quite a few options that you have. I just want to briefly go over what your options are. So we'll start out with our Badger Model 25. So this is what you guys are currently using, this meter base itself. So that's a nutating disc. So there's a disc inside there that nutates as the water flows through, spins a magnet on top. We are able to capture that through the register, and then we send that off to a transmitter to transmit that either by drive-by or cellular. We also then offer ultrasonic meters. Ultrasonic has no moving parts. This gives us the ability to send back pressure and water temperature. So it gives us access to more data. So when you start talking about leak detection, that's one of the things we can do is, in theory, over the fourth, if you had meters with pressure sensors, you actually could have went into Beacon and saw those pressure drops in certain areas within your system. So that gives you access to potentially finding where that leak was at through the network. So on this display here, so you see, we do have a meter with a automatic flow restriction valve. So you're actually able to use the cellular network and cut off service remotely. Not something that's heavily used, but I did want to mention that that is an option. So as you can see here, we offer all the different meter options. And so then you can go to a mobile endpoint, which is what you guys have some of those in. Majority of yours are our older technology, which is the CE, but the newer ones are an ME, mobile endpoint. You also have the option of cellular. And that's kind of where we're going to focus tonight, is just to talk about some of the benefits of what do we gain if we go with a cellular endpoint over a mobile drive-by. But here you can kind of see with our system, you can run both in conjunction. It's not to say you have to choose cellular for everything or mobile. You can either go through the cellular network or you can do drive-by. It goes into our Beacon software, which is a big benefit that the town already has. You already have the most up-to-date software, and that software is integrated with your billing vendor. So, and then there, towards the end there, it shows you that the data goes to the billing vendor. Again, just kind of talking, it was just talking about the mutations. Typically, the AWWA standard is 15 up to 59 mutations. Ours does 47. I use that kind of as a comparison of a 4-cylinder to a V8. Ours has just got a larger chamber, so it doesn't have to work as hard as some of the other meters on the market. This here is talking about the actual encoder itself, the register that is obtaining that data from the magnet spins. So what this is, the benefit to this is that if you had this register on your shelf, it's programmable. So if you needed this to be for a 5/8, 3/4 meter for residential, or if you needed this for a 2-inch meter, you wouldn't have to change registers. You can actually just reprogram this. The other part that is nice in the system is if you've got somebody that shows up as a leak, you can actually look at the register and it will show you what the rate of flow is in gallons per minute at real time. So you can actually look and see exactly what's happening there. The other piece is the alarms. It's going to give you, if someone's taking the register off their meter, it's going to send that alarm. Magnetic tamper, if someone's put a magnet up against it, because remember, we're measuring those magnet spins. There's been times where people put high magnets on the side to try to change the meter. 30 days of no usage. Temperature, leaks, and reverse flows. Again, there's that ultrasonic that I talked about with the flow restriction valve that's built into it. Again, ultrasonic, the biggest thing you want to look at there is, you can see that extended load flow. So the meters that you're using now read down to 1/4 of a gallon a minute. If you go to an ultrasonic meter, you can get down to 0.04 gallons per minute. It makes a bigger difference on the larger meters. Like if you see the ultrasonic, you can do up to 560 gallons a minute compared to the 450 on a standard 3-inch compound. Again, so we got secure two-way communication. The cellular endpoint is going to transmit 96 reads a day. So it's going to have 15-minute interval reads. So what that's doing for us is if we have a potential leak or someone that gets a higher bill, we can actually see down in those 15-minute intervals that water softener will generate, or the toilet stool where the flap is stuck. We're able to see all of that in Beacon, which you guys currently already have in place. The other is, this is going to have an ion water app, which is for everybody that's a member of the community. They'll actually have access to that data as well for their home. So over the past 20 years, we've had a failure rate of about 0.5%. Over 10 million endpoints have been deployed. With going to cellular over drive-by. So drive-by, we're actually having a conversation about your laptop and your receiver. When you go to cellular, you don't have any equipment. The only equipment you have is the actual meter and the actual transmitter. Everything else, we're just relying on the existing infrastructure. So how that calls in those 96 reads, it actually calls it in 4 times a day in 6-hour data packets. 3 of those data packets you guys can choose. So if the office opens up at 8 o'clock, we could set that first call to happen at 7. Maybe we do one, you know what I'm saying? You can spread that out to where that data is coming in at a time where maybe it's most beneficial to the office. I'm briefly going to go through some of these screenshots. I actually have Nick is going to show some of the meters, we have cellular within your system today, and he's gonna be able to show some of that.
You got 7 minutes.
Perfect.
It's okay.
So that was the main screen there that will show you everybody that shows a potential leak. You're able to actually click on that. It brings up a listing of everyone that shows a potential leak, reverse flow.
So the meters we have now, can you hook it up where we can see the reads and where we get these, or is this, all meters have to be changed out?
They do not have to be changed out. So this registration can be, so this, say you have this meter in and you have an old register. We can put a new register and transmitter onto what you have existing and turn that into cellular immediately.
So the bottom part, the life expectancy of the bottom part of the meter is how many years?
So the warranty is 15 years or 2.5 million gallons. That being said, we've got meters that are 30 years old that I've seen pulled out that still test. Again, when I talked about that oversized chamber, that's what gives us that ability to have that extended life expectancy. Here's just an example of someone's daily usage with an overlay of the precipitation in the light blue and then the red and temperature. This helps when we have customers that don't understand how they use so much water. A lot of the times the temperature or rainfall can help us understand that a little better. I think if you want to get your laptop here. The DMAs, this is one other thing that I think we need to talk about is when you go all cellular, if we were to section off your system, you could actually have a meter that would tell 10,000 gallons came through here, but we only billed for 6,000 gallons. And that tells us immediately when we're out looking for that leak, what section of our system that's in. That is something that our software, the software that you have today, has that ability. And there's just somebody showing the supply, the dark blue is the supply, the turquoise is the demand meters.
That's if they're switched over to the cellular, but it's not currently, right?
What's that?
We currently can't do that. That's if it's switched over to cellular.
You need cellular because I need to have that daily read. Because right now, we're talking 96 reads a day. Right now, you're obtaining one reading a month.
Right.
And so this, with that ion water app, that helps tremendously because that allows us to know daily if somebody has a potential leak, whereas right now, it's that 30-day cycle. If that leak starts the time that truck drives by and reads that meter,
Right.
we don't know it until the next billing cycle. So I did put some pricing together, just kind of talking about that retrofit.
You make sure Ryan gets one.
Ryan has one.
Yeah.
And the only other thing I will say about the cellular is for that transmission to happen, we do go to a composite lid, and that's included in that pricing.
Okay.
We do have an option to do it through cast iron. It's just a little bit more expensive, and most people have opted to move to composite. So, yeah, so Nick here is going to explain to you, we're actually in their beacon, right? This is Edinburgh's. Okay. Okay.
Their beacon, I mean, there's nothing wrong, so, with the cellular read, so I wanted to show them
What wrong?
what we're detecting and that sort of thing, and give a little insight to the ion water. I think the ion water, the app or the website, that's really the driver, because the homeowner, property owners can set up their account and get alerts if they have a leak, sometimes down to 1/10 of a gallon. Badger Meter's roadmap is looking to shorten that window so you know sooner when the garden hose has been left on or a toilet's leaking. Your phone or your email will pop a notification to let you know within 24 hours. Before it was every 30 days. Badger Meter got it down to 24 hours. Now everybody wants it in 6 hours or 3 hours, and they're working on getting that even closer and with less water flow. There are 5 Sailor read meters in your current beacon system. I looked at them and everything looked rosy, there were no problems. So I switched over to the town that I'm from, Edinburgh, Illinois, and everything's reading great, but the people in the town have some problems. And one thing that's really neat about our system, when Rachel, when she logs into it on a daily basis, she can look at this at a glance page. It's the dashboard. I refer to it as the good, the bad, and the ugly. You look at it, you look for troubles, and you get back to doing what else you do during the day. But as I'm scrolling through, I see everything is reading. Well, that's good. If I scroll down, let me see here, I get on the page. If I scroll down, I have some meter encoder alarms, but the menu of the day, every day, is about flow. And we're picking up 16 accounts that have leaks. And in general, in Beacon, a leak is 1 gallon an hour consecutively for 24 hours. So that's what starts to throw alarms to people. So if I'm Rachel, I'm gonna click on this leak detected, and here's the ugly. These folks, 24 gallons an hour, started on July 2nd at 3:44 in the afternoon. Now, they don't have ion water, so they don't know that's going on. The people that work in the utility would know. But if they had ion water, they would have known before the fireworks went off that they had a problem. As I scroll down, I'm looking at more of these, and I see an account. Up in the left-hand corner, there's a blue water truck, if you see it. That tells me, as a town clerk, okay, that guy has ion water. But I don't see that he set his leak alert for the email or on his phone. So I'm gonna give him a call too, because he's halfway there. As I keep scrolling, I see all these people that have leaks. 2.4 gallons an hour. Started back in May. That guy really doesn't care. But I see a lot of these leak detections, people don't have ion water. But let me switch over to this, because I can focus on customers that are signed up for ion water. I see they have ion water with the blue. I see they have their edit alert set so that they're being notified of a leak. Guess what these people don't have? Leaks. Because the app is letting them know. Now I said that, but let me go look. Yeah, as far as any reading exceptions, one of them has a magnetic tamper. We need to look at that guy. The other one says no usage. No usage is just a term that we use when water hasn't flowed through the meter for a set amount of days. It just goes into that no usage. If the lights are on, the cars are in the driveway, we need trucks to roll and go check and see if that meter is moving. If it's still there, who knows? But this is the power of ion water. When people have it, they get signed up for it. They don't have leaks like everybody else that doesn't have ion water. And the ion water comes with the cellular package. It's real easy. You take your account number off the bill. You go to the app or the website. We've got a couple of YouTube videos. These Lawrence, Indiana did for their population. I give those out all the time to customers. Say, watch this video, and it'll show you how to sign up for it and use it. And just a quick visual here. When using the ion water, when you log in at the top, it says no leaks detected, good job. If there was a leak, you get that ding, and you look and, oh my gosh, I gotta go turn off the hose or jiggle the handle. But when you log in, it'll give you a week-to-week comparison, kind of keep you in check. It's like, wow, I'm really, wasting the water, or I'm a good boy, I'm not using much water. Let me see what else I can find here. We can get into day-to-day. The blue bars are showing Monday through Sunday, and then the gray behind it is what was used last week. So it gives people a bigger idea of how much water is actually flowing. Because Palmyra charges for what flowed, they don't charge for what you used or think you used. So it's all about the flow. Let me see if there's anything else in here. Day of the week, you want to catch some power to flow. I don't see. I gotta turn off that closed caption. I'm looking at some daily flow here in the month of January 2018. But you can touch on any of those bars and it will tell you what flowed that day. You can get it down to the hour on your phone. So if you got kids and the hot water heater and run out of hot water, you know what, 30, 40 gallons in that hour. I don't know if there's anything else you want me to show off.
Is there a monthly fee for the customer for that service? Or is it a
Not for the
monthly
Ion
fee?
water. Ion water is given to you by Badger when you buy the cellular endpoint. So when it gets installed, Rachel or anyone can say, hey, you have one of these new meters, here's how you sign up. And I don't get calls all the time, but people have trouble signing up for things online. You provide your information, and then it sends an email to make sure you use the legitimate email. You have to click the link in the email, use a temporary password, put that in, then you have to create your own password and then sign in and they're activated. Sometimes emails go into junk folders, maybe they fat fingered their email address or something. If people can't figure it out, then I will help and get involved. And I've talked to a few people, homeowners, helping them out if the utility can't get it done. But, support the utility primarily.
So there's not a monthly additional cost for the customers, but is there for the town? For these?
Oh, there's
a fee, you'll see the,
The
on the
monthly fee?
notification, yeah, you'll see the $1 it's $1 a month per meter. $1. So it's $1 a month, and that's gonna be the cloud services, we're pushing all this through Amazon Cloud Services, so it's storing that 96 reads a day, all of that data being stored.
That's right there.
Also includes the cellular costs and the security.
Hey, can I ask you a question? Oh,
Yeah.
you're talking about the tampering part of it.
Yeah.
If somebody tampers with that, does it actually damage it or can damage it or?
Yeah, so the biggest thing we see is the wiring. I mean, that's the low-lying fruit of tampering is just to cut the wire. And that can be spliced, we can fix that, but, for the most part, that and you'll see with that lid, I highly recommend using a recessed lid. The other damage that I see most often, you've probably seen this with your drive-by units as well, is they get scalped with the lawnmower tampers. And I see a lot more lawnmower tampers than I do actual physical damage, intentional damage. Sometimes we'll see where a plumber's gotten in a meter pit or something, they'll end up pinching the wire or something like that. Well, thank you. If there's more questions, at some point, we're happy to come back if you want to dive deeper or do more.
One question back here,
Yeah.
the maintenance fee per year, what does that run?
So there's no maintenance fee on cellular.
Okay,
So-
on drive-by.
So on drive-by, you are going to have you'll have the actual Beacon mobile software, which is the software that's on the laptop. You'll have a sign-on to be able to go out and read those meters. And then you pay a monthly service fee for that data storage on Amazon Cloud Services as well.
And how much is
I don't know the exact numbers off the top of my head, but we can get that. But with cellular, you pay a monthly
You just
fee.
made a dollar,
So there's no software fee, that's all encompassing.
and that dollar one year, how many years does that ever go up after a certain amount of years? Is that like a 15-year guarantee locked-in contract, and then does it go up after that?
So that could be negotiated, the pricing, but typically we've seen that, that price, every few years, you're gonna see it creep up a penny or so.
Is there a contract that goes along with it for X amount of years in the sewer auction, or is that a floating fee that can just change?
So yes, we can do a master agreement.
Okay.
Yes, if that is an option.
So if there's 1,700 customers and we're charging $1.20 something, right?
No,
A dollar for meters. So how many for service is 16?
1750.
So $1,750 a month.
That's what the town would have to pay, but then the customers would have to pay nothing.
Right, I mean, there's no additional fee to the customer. That's giving you 96 reads a day.
And it's getting the app on the phone as well and access to all the data, the same thing you usually see as well. You're able to see that on your phone with the app or online.
Ryan, how many currently, or you may be able to answer better, you gave us how many meters to trial with this app?
We had 6, and we
I think there were 6 total, but I think we only put 5. I think Jeremy only put 5 of those 6.
I said it's 5 in Beacon.
Okay, 5.
There's 5 that you can pull
Yeah,
up.
5 of them that's in there working now.
So since you do the meters, do you have like a flow meter for like different mains, different size mains that they could actually put in a section of the main that would actually tell if there's a high flow area, or where they would be able to isolate that more?
Yeah, so that's what I talked about, that district meter. So what we've started to do is putting those 4, 6, 3, whatever size that water main is, put the meter there. And so what we do is we say this line is feeding X number of houses, and we group them all together, and we call that district metering or zone metering. So we know that main meter tells me 10,000 gallons flow through it today. And I look at the houses and I see, we built for 6,500 gallons, I know that we're having a loss in this area.
You can check that data.
So,
Yes.
It's automatic.
We can do that day, and then the other part is if it's all linked together, then you can have a meter on the app where it's exiting to know how much water flowed through that zone. Yeah, that's the next level of being able to take that, having that abundance of data and being able to say, and then cut it into quadrants.
The other thing that we're doing inside those zones is also like a mini district is we're putting the E-Series meter with pressure in. So let's just say this line was 2 miles long from where it started. So we might go out 3/4 of a mile, put one of those E-Series meters in one of the customer's houses that they have access to, so the utility. And we can read the pressure at that point. Then we might go out another 3/4 of a mile and put that in the third. And then we put another one at a customer's house and we can see that data. So Ryan or Jeremy or anybody in the town could monitor that pressure on a daily basis. So if we see the pressure off the main, we can put an E-Series in there in that main, like we just asked about. And then we see the pressure over here, they should coincide and they will level out on a daily basis. If we see fluctuations between the main and that first meter in that run, we're gonna know the problems between these 2 meters. Because this guy normally runs pressure at 65 pounds a day and it's charging. And if we see him at 45 pounds, then we're gonna know there's a problem between him and me.
I know on some of the older meters, you could actually turn up the pressure on some of the older meters.
The existing M25 does not offer pressure. You have to switch over to the E-Series on that. But you can use your existing M25 bodies and put the cellular endpoint on there to get the daily data for that meter.
So if somebody had a meter down by the road in their house, 600-700 feet up the driveway, you know, if they've got 3/4 inch meter and a 1 inch line, well, you think they have a 1 inch line, but some don't. It's 3/4 inch line. Then by the time they get to the house, got 65 pound pressure, and by the time it's up there, it's gonna be maybe 55.
You're gonna lose pressure.
So you're gonna lose, you're definitely gonna lose pressure.
But we would be, if that was an E-Series meter with pressure in it, we would be able to record that data daily. So that person you explained, we would see that chart daily, 55, 55, 55, 55. At some point in time, when there's a problem, it's not gonna be 55. 5 anymore, it's gonna be 40, and we're gonna know, there's a problem, these pressures now.
Unless it's a farm, you got a couple valves on, so on the water tanks or something.
We're-
So Ryan, we're trialing two different kind of meters right now,
Yes.
right? And we have several of both meters in,
Yes.
yes. And we had said we were gonna do, how many month trial?
3 months.
3 month trial, and then try to move forward with,
And we'll come back and, like I said, discuss everything here, put this all back together. Then we'll
Yeah.
go from there.
okay, all right. Thank you guys, appreciate y'all coming,
Thanks for having us.
thank you. Next up is Ms. Chelsea.
You ready for me?
Yeah,
Okay.
this is a public hearing for our Oprah grant.
Right.
Will you explain why we're here for the third time?
Yes, I can, actually. So I'm Chelsea Crump. So we're gonna start this at 7:14, just put that for the record. I am with River Hills. We are grant administrators. We're certified grant administrators. So if you apply for an Oprah grant and Office of Community and Rural Affairs grant, you have to have a certain grant certification to apply. And most communities will use certified grant administrators instead of getting certified themselves, just because it's a big process to become certified. And if there's changeover in your leadership or whatnot, you don't have to send that person to go through that whole year training and whatnot. So that's how we got here. By the way, there's a sign-in sheet going around. If you can sign it, you don't have to put your full address. You can just put Palmyra, Indiana or whatnot. But the more people we have at the public hearing, the better it looks for Oprah, that people in the community were supportive of the project. There's also a community survey on the very back table. If you haven't filled out one yet, which you probably have because we've been here a few times now, it just asks for any issues that you're experiencing, whether it's flooding, if it's your toilet's backing up, you can't run the shower, or run your washer at the same time. But we're here today to talk about the town intending to apply for federal funds through the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development and the Indiana Office of Community and Rural Affairs. And they want to develop a utility plan that would cover water, wastewater, and stormwater. So this plan would be, a study of all three of the systems to really figure out what's needed, what's there. And then the next step would be to start doing the construction and whatnot. So this is for the plan itself. And you are required to have 2 public hearings if you apply for this funding. You have to have a public hearing before your application, and then if you're awarded grant funding, you'll have another public hearing to go over the draft plan once it's pretty much complete, so that you have a say as a community in what's in that plan if you have questions or whatnot. The total cost of the project is $97,000. The town is applying for a total of $79,000 in the block grant funds. And then the other $18,000 actually was provided or committed from the Harrison County Community Foundation, so they're covering the match. There's only a 10% match, but they're providing 18.5% match. That's actually gonna help the application it's for. So it's not gonna cost the town anything for this project if it gets awarded, which is wonderful. The problem is it's a very competitive grant. Last round, so this is our 3rd round applying, which is actually not unusual. It usually takes communities 2 to 3 rounds to get the funding. It's super competitive, it's across the whole state. Last round, there were 35 plus applications, 5 communities were awarded a grant. So just understand that it's not like, oh, Palmyra's not doing a good job, they're not providing enough information. There's a lot of communities all trying to get the same pot of money. Each time we've applied, we've met with Oprah after to get feedback on how we can make our application better or what they're looking for to help maybe bring us further up in the line. So we're hopeful that this is the final round, but just know it is very competitive. So the way that they'll apply is we submit an application online. It's due July 12th, which is Sunday, but we typically try to get ours in by Friday because after the end of business day Friday, there's nobody at the office for Oprah to help if you need guidance or whatnot. So we always try to get it in early. So it should be submitted by Friday. And then we should hear something back from Oprah about September, if not earlier, on if you're awarded. To be eligible for the grant, you have to meet one of 3 national objectives. And so, about 2 years ago, the community performed an income survey of all of the beneficiaries on the water lines that use the water, the sewer, stormwater and whatnot. And you guys are found to meet the benefit to low to moderate income objective. So that's how you're eligible. So the federal funding is going to be used to hire a professional firm to work with the town and the community to develop a utility plan. And then, like I said, that plan is going to cover your existing water, wastewater, and stormwater facilities, your need for the project, some alternatives that you can consider, sustainability considerations, detailed timetables, all of that will be in that plan that will be shared with the town. Procurement for the firm to complete the plan has already taken place. The town sought statements of qualifications from interested firms. They utilize a quality-based scoring system, which is required by OGRA for the application. And then the firm that was selected was HWC Engineering. So a contract has not been awarded to them. That will be contingent upon the grant award. So they've been doing a lot of upfront work for this project. And, can't be paid yet because they have to get the grant to be awarded. So they've been doing a lot of work and been very helpful to me. So like I said, it's a very competitive grant process, and grant awards should be announced by mid to late September. The town, like I said, previously applied, but hasn't been awarded. We have been taking, I know some of you have sent in pictures, you've sent in letters of support or letters talking about your face, and we're using all of that in the grant application. I know some of you have experienced some significant, y'all were out of water this weekend, there was a leak or whatnot. I actually went in and captured all of the Facebook comments for the last few incidences that you have, showing like if you commented that you had an issue or you're frustrated or whatnot, all of that is going to be very useful for that application to show OGRA how desperately you guys need this plan so that you can start making repairs and build up your system. Are there any questions about the actual grant application process? We'll go into the actual plan process next, but as far as the application part. Okay, well then I want to go ahead and introduce Zach Klein with HWC, and he'll kind of talk about how they're going to do the plan and what that consists of next.
Hello, Zach Klein with HWC. I'm with our Water Resources group out of our New Albany office. We've done this 3rd time doing this on this. But this master utility plan, as described, covers your water utility, your wastewater utility, and all the stormwater, all the drainage, all the culverts, and identifying the system throughout the city, identifying the areas of issue, projects of improvement, and different aspects that we can do. So this project or this plan takes quite a few months. 6 to 8 months is really what it takes to really do all the investigation, put all the information together, and come up with ideas of what we want to do, what areas we want to focus on, because we can't do everything. We want to prioritize where can you get the biggest bang for your buck. And quite frankly, one of the main aspects of completing the study is actually then applying for a loan application to then do a project, because then whatever project you have is going to be a large cost, and usually it requires a loan to do that project. We can't do everything, but we discuss and prioritize what project we can do and figure out how to make. You can do small improvements one at a time, but you look for what can be the best application for the city. And there's a lot of things to choose from, how you weigh benefits of this versus that, and that's what the next public hearing will be about. But yeah, it's a long drawn out process. We've already done a lot of work with the water group. We're all engineers for the community, so we're already very familiar with what's going on and absolutely ready to continue the process if and when this goes through. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so does anybody have any issues that they're currently experiencing with water, wastewater, stormwater that they want to share publicly right now with me? If you don't want to share it publicly and you want to fill out one of those surveys, or I can give you my card and you can shoot me an email or give me a call and share, that works too. But any information we can include is helpful because they want to know, they want to know what's going on in your community, and they want to make sure that residents have a say and that they're sharing and they were, wanting this just as much as the town. It's not just the town wanting it, that you guys want it and you see the need for it too. So, does anybody have anything that they share? All right, that is it for our public hearing. I'll go ahead and close it at 7:23. And again, I'll be here for the rest if you want to even grab me after the meeting and chat, that's no problem. And then before you move on to the next thing, did you want to go ahead and go over the signature stuff for the application, or do you want to?
Yeah, we can.
So really the only thing that I need you guys to do right now during the meeting is the, somewhere in here, municipal resolution. So we've already had to do this twice because you have to do it every time. But this municipal resolution is basically authorizing you to submit your application and for Deborah to sign anything that needs to be signed outside of the meeting for the application and that you're providing the local match. So that's what it looks like.
Do you want number?
Number 9,
Number
2026. It's gonna be a TR, lots of TR resolution in the resolution.
Yeah,
So it's a TR, 2026 TR 9.
that's one.
Yeah.
Okay. So I need a motion for me to sign the resolution authorizing application submission and local match commitment, resolution number 2026 TR9. Can you make that motion? I'll second it, and I will sign it this, what day is it, 7th day of July, 2026 at, what time is it?
7:25.
7:25 p.m.
And then I'll stick around and then I can go on all this fun stuff at the end, so.
Okay.
Yeah, and just know Deborah's been working really hard behind the scenes on getting information to me. She's always answers me when I need something, and I feel like we've gotten very close because we've been doing this for quite some time now. So, but hopefully this, will bring some good news for you guys, and then we can start getting to that plan, and then, like you said, hopefully find some funding, loan, grant funding and stuff to start construction, so. And probably yours, yeah.
Thank you. And one other thing that was on our agenda was that extensions of the sewer past Kieslers. Toy is not here currently, and he was gonna look into some URC laws and ordinances and all that for the water. He will be here in August meeting. He's currently on vacation for this meeting. So I'll need a motion to table the extension for the sewer past Kieslers. Make that motion. I'll second it. Any discussion?
Nope.
Okay, so that will be tabled for August meeting. And that is all that's on our agenda. And I will make a motion to adjourn the meeting. Make that motion. I'll second. Meeting's adjourned at 7:27 p.m. Thank you, everybody, for attending.